What's going on, guys? Welcome into Clutch B-Ball TV. I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night as the New York Knicks just went on to destroy the Milwaukee Bucks 130 to 110. Yes, I just said that. We beat the Milwaukee Bucks 130 to 110. I was just lost for words after this performance, and I was really devastated after how we performed up against the Philadelphia 76ers. I was like, quickly still hurt. Obi's going to be out a couple weeks. This is just very devastating, and we won't really get to see possibly the future of this team. Quickly may not be our starter of the future when it comes to the point guard position, but he may be a nice piece off the bench that can shoot the ball, facilitate, set up some players around him for open shots. And Obi Toppin, we hope, is a part of the future. He has a lot to work on, but he is talented, and he has a good head on his shoulders. And before we officially get into the whole thing, Payton's not going to do what he did tonight moving forward. Yes, Payton had over 25 points, but we can't expect that from Elfrid Payton every single night. He's not going to be 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 from downtown, whatever he was. Gosh, I can't stand watching him shoot free throws, but Elfrid Payton showed up tonight. If it was facilitating, if it was hitting his open shots, he was pretty smart. He had those times that he did shoot some stupid shots, but I thought Elfrid Payton had a good game. He had a good game, but again, we can't expect Elfrid Payton to shoot this well from downtown, a guy who's a career just awful three-point shooter and awful from the charity stripe. But I got to give credit to Elfrid Payton. He stepped up because we needed him to step up. We couldn't put pressure on Frank or DSJ to come into this basketball game. And DSJ did not play, by the way. But Elfrid Payton, congratulations to you. You had a great game. Also, Julius Randle, I thought he did a good job playing within the offense. He had moments that I was like, why is he shooting a million fadeaway jumpers? But he was feeling it. He was knocking down his shots. He was in the zone, so I can't blame him whatsoever. But could we just count how many fadeaway jump shots he had in the corner? There was one that hit the top of the backboard. But I thought Julius Randle had a good game. He rebounded the ball well. He did a good job distributing the basketball. And again, I'm not going to get just so excited and be heavily optimistic after this game, especially by Elfrid Payton, because he's not our point guard of the future. But he had a good game. Julius Randle may not be a part of the future, but he had a good game as well. I got to give credit to him. He had an all-around good basketball game. Another underrated performance, Kevin Knox. This man had several plays, or at least a couple plays. He was playing good defense. And I just love seeing the bench get so excited and be like, come on, put your ass down, play some good defense. And he had some nice plays on Chris Middleton. He played some smart, fundamental defense. And I was really proud of Kevin Knox in this game. He looked like he had some dog in him. And we have to see this on a consistent basis at the end of the day with these young guys. It all comes down to consistency. But we just beat the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm not saying they're going to be a finals contender, but at the end of the day, they were the first seed in the Eastern Conference last year. And they have Giannis Antetokounmpo. And you could say they improved, adding a Drew Holiday to their team and continuing to mature and get better as a basketball team. And hopefully Mike Budenholzer cleans some things up. But I thought Julius Randle had a good game. Elfrid Payton did. Two of the most hated Knicks, I thought they had good games. RJ Barrett, you could say he wasn't the most efficient, didn't knock down shots from the outside, but he was knocking down his free throws. He did a good job facilitating, hitting some shots around the basket as well. That mid-range shot, I want him to work on that mid-range shot more than three-point shot, because I think that's going to definitely be a big part of his arsenal, because he's starting to knock down that shot for sure. And you could really see how the game is slowing down for him. He had some nice passes. He had a couple turnovers, though, that I was just about to rip all my hair out, which I shouldn't want to do because I'm 16. But he rebounded the ball well as well. So I'm pretty pleased with RJ's performance. He wasn't the most efficient, but I thought RJ did have a good game, and he did enough for us to win this basketball game. Reggie Bullock, I would say, was solid. Alec Burks, our Marcus Morris of the 2020-21 season. Are we ready to flip him for a first-rounder to the Boston Celtics? Alec Burks, I wouldn't even mind if you wanted to bring him back on a team-friendly deal. Not saying as a starter, maybe off the bench when this team maybe is good. I'm not going to get so excited about this win because at the end of the day, it is one win. We got our first win of the season. We're 1-2. But this is what I expected. I was so excited about this signing because I knew this guy was going to be a part of the future. But when we signed him for 1 year, $6 million, I'm like, this dude can shoot the lights out with the Jazz, with the Warriors, with the Sixers. He was also a part of some winning culture of the Sixers. They went to the playoffs, the Jazz as well. He could shoot the ball, and he's not terrible defensively, and he could set himself up for sure. I love his brand of basketball, and he was absolutely unbelievable. He was a big reason we were in this game. You guys know I'm really high on critiquing Mitchell Robinson, but another mature style of play on the defensive side of the basketball. I believe he only had 2 fouls or 3 fouls in 35 minutes of action. He did a good job being aware when the basketball was around him. Again, I get really tough on him because I'm like, he didn't add a hook shot to his arsenal, mid-range shot, not consistent from the free throw line, and I don't care if he can guard the perimeter or block a ton of shots if he can't stay on the floor, but we just saw how effective he can be when he is on the floor and his dexterity around the rim. Sometimes he looks like a damn guard just laying it up on the other side of the rim. There was one play that was beautiful on Giannis, and when Giannis was driving, when he stayed disciplined on defense, he didn't fall for any of Giannis's like up and unders. When he stayed disciplined, played straight hands up fundamental defense, he was unbelievable. And I think Nerlens Noel is definitely helping him out with that. And also a guy of Tom Thibodeau who's defensive minded. And like I said, just because we have Tom Thibodeau doesn't mean these guys are going to get better defensively. See what happened with Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. But hopefully these guys have more dog in them for sure. But Kevin Knox, I thought he played some good defense. His offense might have not been like spectacular, but I really was pleased with his defense. Now, Frankie Laquina, as you guys know, I'm high on Frankie Laquina, and then I kind of fell off the wagon. Like, maybe the true reality is he's not a point guard, and that's okay. He had some moments he played point guard. There were some moments he was off the guard. Keep him in this role. Just because he's playing good in this role does not mean he's going to be a good starter. I think that's one of the things we're going to have to accept, that he may be a good bench piece and a guy that brings energy off the bench. His defense was solid. I would say that. 4 fouls. But he was knocking down the shots. That's all we ask out of Frank as well. Be good enough offensively that he could put pressure on the defense and just hit your open shots. 4 for 4 from downtown. I'm really pleased with that. I'm really just so pleased with Frank tonight. Had 12 points, I believe. Played disciplined defense. Of course, he can be over-aggressive on that side of the ball, but he hit his open shots. I can't be mad at that whatsoever when I really take a look at it. But Reggie Bullock, you could say he was solid. He was solid on defense. Still has those moments like, what was that shot type of thing for sure. But yeah, Giannis, you could like make fun of Giannis like he's not the greatest shooter, but geez, that man is just so freakishly athletic. His long wingspan, he's just so gifted around the rim due to his like physical traits, and you could just see how he plays throughout his strengths. That's why he's such a great player. But if it wasn't for Mitch playing fundamental, mature defense or disciplined defense, I don't think we would win this game. I thought we played good as a core. Dennis Smith Jr., we know he's a good defensive player, but we know he's not a great shooter. At least Frank might show that some nights. But same thing with Dennis Smith Jr. I'm not going to get overexcited about Frankie Laquina. We need to see consistency and keep Frank in this role. Don't expect Frank to get 27 minutes unless it's like down the stretch in an overtime game. But I like the small role for Frank, just not getting that many minutes, just putting him in there for some energy to close out games. And I was really pleased with how disciplined this team played. We had some turnovers at the end. Julius Randle did, RJ did, but I'm very pleased, and I couldn't ask for anything more. I thought we played a good basketball game. Chris Middleton, another amazing player. Drew Holiday, I've always had respect for the way he plays the game as well. But I want to thank you guys so much for the great amount of support. You guys are absolutely amazing. And I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything else. Obi Toppin, of course, did not play. Emmanuel quickly. Obi Toppin's expected to miss a couple weeks due to a calf strain, I believe. And quickly, hopefully he's back next game. We'll see. We just came off of back-to-back. But, geez, this win feels good. At the end of the day, RJ played well, Mitchell Robinson played well, and it would have been different if it was just Payton and Julius Randle that played well because they're not a part of the future, but having those guys that are a part of the future playing well, I was really pleased with that, y'all. But thank you guys so much for the great amount of support. Hopefully we can keep this up and have some consistency and see this young team learn how to win. You guys have no idea, at least non-Knicks fans, this is so good for these young guys to learn how to win basketball games, to learn how to close out games, and gain experience, especially because the Sixers game was so ugly. But thank you guys so much for the great amount of support. I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, guys, have a humble day or night. Peace out, y'all.